And then in 6 months, when you have 15 plus clients, they're going to look at you and say, how the hell did he start a software company and make all this money? And he's a business major. What is he doing? What am I doing wrong? Why am I not getting paid as much as him and I make the software? You stick with exactly what you want to do in this business model, and eventually it'll pay off, and your environment is going to be everything for you.
Hey guys, what is up? It is Dominic. Welcome back to the channel. And in this video, I'm going to be doing something I've actually never done. I'm going to be interviewing one of my most successful affiliates ever. I cannot wait to get into this. We have a whole presentation planned. He's going to talk about everything that he has done. He was a university student at University of Cincinnati, and he is going to be covering everything from A to V. And I'm super excited. So welcome, Preston.
Hey guys, it's nice to finally be on the channel. I've always been someone for the past 6 months who's been watching all of Dom's videos. Never thought I would actually get a video on the channel, but I guess that's just a great reflection of how hard work pays off.
Absolutely, man. This is a long time coming. Me and Preston have been talking for months and months. He was actually one of my first affiliates ever. I will always remember walking around in the garage on the phone call with him and talking about everything that he was going to do and everything that I was trying to do as an affiliate leader. I mean, I had nothing. I barely had any affiliates at all. He really was one of my first like 20 or 30. So this is just the craziest experience for me. And I can't even imagine what it feels like for him. So very excited. Cannot wait to get into this. And let's get into it.
Yeah, so I have been doing Go High Level SaaS business model for around 7 months now. I have been doing sales efforts for my SaaS company for around 6 months now. I really took the first 30 days of Dominic's free trial in order to understand the entire Go High Level platform and how to use it for my own business as well as the other businesses that I was going to sell it to. Very cool because I actually found Dominic's videos around 9 months ago when I was sitting in my dorm at college, and one of his videos was really intriguing to me and I actually saved it. And for the longest time, it was just something that was always in the back of my mind. I was a business student and was always interested in possibly starting a business. I never knew I could start a business, but I had made sure to save that and come back to it later on. And actually, during this summer, when I had gotten an internship as a strategy analyst intern at a blockchain real estate company here in Cincinnati, I was just really bored. And at work, I pretty much went through my TikTok again and I had remembered Dominic's video. And so I pulled it up and I went through it again and went through his channel. And from there, next thing you know, I was diving right into the SaaS business model, which is super interesting because I usually don't, go into anything I see on TikTok. I've been a big cryptocurrency advocate, and there's always a lot of gray area around content online for different businesses and different business models. So when I saw Dominic's free course as well as his free trial, I dove right in. And next thing you know, I was in my free trial building my SaaS company. It really excited me right away as, the way that Dom explains how to start your SaaS company was pretty simple. You were going on Google My Business and pretty much searching businesses near you. And quickly I found out that a lot of businesses here in Cincinnati could benefit from Go High Level's features, as well as the solutions that I would implement later on into their businesses. I actually showed my mom what I was going to do, and she thought that it was a get rich quick kind of scheme, as all she ever heard from me was get rich quick schemes like cryptocurrency and forex trading and stuff. But I told her that I had lost enough money in cryptocurrency and enough money in forex that $297 wasn't going to be too big of a hit for me if the business didn't take off. So I dove right in with the free trial, learned as much as I could, and within 30 days I was actually doing sales efforts in my area.
That is amazing. I love that story. And I have the same situation with my mom, who I don't know if she thought it was a get rich quick or if she thought it was a scam or this or that. But her one reaction to me when I started to make some money was, I will believe it when I see it in the bank. I'll always remember that saying, because I'm like, oh man, she still doesn't believe it. I'm out here doing everything I said I was going to do. But yeah, it's very cool, and love the story. And I cannot wait to see exactly what you did. And I'm pretty sure everybody is dying to know as well.
Yeah. So it all started when I was working at my internship. I was working full time, so 9 to 5 from Monday to Friday, actually 9 to 6. And the entire time I was working for a startup. And if anyone that's watching this has ever worked for a startup, you know that it can either be super reckless or you're not doing much work at all. And I had actually been the second round of interns at this business, and they really didn't have their whole processes straightened out. So I was left with a lot of free time to do whatever I want. I guess you could say unsupervised free time. And that's when I really dove into this business model. I started by writing down all my thoughts. As you know, with this business model, there's a lot at first. And the best thing you can do is kind of piece out your thoughts and understand, all right, who are the first people I'm going to reach out to? Is it family? Is it friends? Is it neighbors? Is it friends of friends? Is it family friends? And from there, I started writing down every single person that I knew I could possibly sell the software to and get some experience with. So I pretty much started this business while working full time. And from 9 to 5, I was working my internship. And from 5 to 9, I was focused on this new SaaS company that I was growing.
Awesome. Yeah, that's kind of similar to how I did it, except I was a little bit out of college, but I was working a 9 to 5. And then on the weekends, I was doing DoorDash and I was trying to ask every family member and every person that I knew. But yeah, a lot of people know my story. So let's get into exactly what you did to get your first client, second, third, fourth, what you did for them. I think that's going to be the main question on everyone's mind.
Yeah, so my first client was actually my next door neighbor, and he owns a local restaurant here in Cincinnati that Dom actually, worked with as well for one of his first clients called Le Peep.
Yep.
And when I was watching Dom's content, I had seen Le Peep pop up multiple times, and I thought, well, how is he doing this if that is a big, chain restaurant? How is he able to talk to someone and end up selling a website and software to? And what I had found out pretty quick is that even though it's a chain restaurant, Le Peep has just one big website for all their locations, and some of the specific locations don't actually have websites. So I knew my next door neighbor's son actually owned the local Le Peep here in Cincinnati. I was lucky enough that when I reached out to Dom, he actually gave me the Le Peep snapshot, which was super exciting for me. And at the time, was very, very thankful for Dominic for letting me use his Le Peep snapshot. And I went over next door to my neighbor's house and started chatting away about this new software system that I was starting and that I wanted to implement in his business. And I pretty much did what everyone tells you not to do. I sat there and I ran him through every single Go High Level feature, explained how it worked, and didn't explain the outcome of what it was going to do for the business. And my next door neighbor, who's actually a software owner himself, he ended up kind of pointing me in the right direction for how to conduct sales meetings around this and gave me a lot of advice and told me to prepare as he would kind of introduce me to his son. And so the first client I ever got was Le Peep. I went out of my way, woke up very early in the morning just to go out 30 minutes to Le Peep and pitch this software solution to his business. And he took a risk on me. I could tell I wasn't very prepared at the beginning, and he saw me as, someone to take a chance on. And he actually allowed me to implement my software solutions into a website that I built for him, or you could say Don built for him and sent over to me. And from there, integrated it to his Google My Business and started a rewards program. So that was my first client. And going from 0 to 1 is the hardest, definitely one of the hardest things to do. And once I went from 0 to 1, every other meeting I had in the future, I was able to reflect back on my first client. And, this established credibility for me early on. And this opportunity only provide immense value in the future for any business partnerships that I had. This client actually didn't end up being a paying subscriber for too long. We worked together for around 2 months before one morning I actually woke up and it was sending automated messages for rewards about the business on a Saturday. And it really ticked off the business owner. And he ended up just texting me saying, we got to turn it off. Let's shut it off. So this was one of the first learning experiences for me. And, it was something at the time that was difficult for me to understand, but it actually helped me later on with all my other clients in order to make sure that I didn't make the same mistake.
Yep, that's a really good example and a really good thing to tell, because I've had moments exactly like that with some of my first clients, and I was lucky enough to keep them, but I totally understand that that could happen and they could fire you on the spot for one simple mistake. And that's why my motto always and will always be for the rest of time: the best people that use high level are the ones that are best at high level. I mean, they just understand it front to back. They've got it all memorized almost, so that there aren't many scenarios where something can go wrong. Because yeah, it's really hard in this type of business where you almost have to be perfect. Even the business owner doesn't have to be perfect, but you may have to be perfect in order to keep that client. And it just comes down to knowledge and how much you know. And obviously Preston knows so much more now than he did 8 months ago.
It's crazy because now I actually work with over 15 local businesses from any industry, being spas, roofing, construction, restaurants, you name it. Pretty much went out and did outreach for every single industry in my area, tried to book as many calls as possible as as many in-person meetings. And quickly, I was booking meetings every single week to the point where literally during my internship, I had a 30-minute to 1 hour lunch, and I was setting meetings, in-person sales meetings, to sell the software during my lunch break at my internship. And it was really cool because at work, I was doing my work as well as building my business. And during lunch, I was going out and doing my sales efforts, then coming back to work, and then going home and then grinding Go High Level a little more. So, it really paid off during that summer. I set a goal for myself by the end of the summer to hit 10 clients, and actually achieved that goal a week before the summer ended, and was able to, due to unfortunate circumstances, quit my job a week before the deadline for the internship program, and felt financially stable enough because of the position I had put myself in to make this decision heading into the school year where I was approaching my junior year of college.
That's awesome, man. That sounds amazing. I mean, you're doing exactly what everybody always dreams of doing, which is, getting out of the rat race and starting their own business. And I think this is going to lead to hundreds of new things for you, networking and possible partnerships with affiliate leaders like me, and so many more things. I think this video itself is going to lead to a lot more for you as well. So can't wait to see what it does.
Yeah, so I'll give you a little run through of some of the clients that I've worked with here in Cincinnati. One, as you can see in the top left, being my college. I'll go further into that here in a second. But like I told you, I didn't specifically niche down. I always thought that Dom had a unique story and a unique way of teaching with his course by telling people that, local is sort of your niche, and the software provides value to every single type of business out there. The only struggle that I did run into early on was pricing. I always was too afraid to address pricing with clients early on. I remember my second client, who I had actually met in person, pulled out her credit card at the very end of the meeting and put it in front of me and said, "How do we start?" And I was too nervous to even take her credit card that I told her, "Don't worry, after we set everything up, I will go ahead and bill you for the services." And to find out very quickly that, I sent her that invoice a day later and it didn't get filled out for 3 weeks. So that was also something I had to learn very
Yep.
quickly, was that, taking credit card information for the services you're going to provide up front is always necessary. And from there, that was just another learning opportunity for me. But as you can see here, I'm working with a lot of different businesses, anywhere from detailing, marketing companies, spas, restaurants, electric vehicle rental companies, retail stores, and much more. And so my third client actually was my university. This was an opportunity that came to me that I was never expecting. I pretty much approached the Center for Entrepreneurship program at my university in the Linder College of Business that I am in. And I told them that I was starting a software company, and I knew that there were a lot of student businesses at UC that I could help with this software. I was looking to offer some type of discounted subscription for the services I was going to offer. They had a look at what I was offering to students for a discount, and they said, "You know what? Well, students in college, they really can't afford services like this. So how about we partner with your company? UC should partner with your company, Neoteric Solutions, and offer your software platform and white label GHL accounts to students for free. And on the back end, we will pay you, and you will meet with students on a weekly basis to walk them through how they can build websites, how they can build automations for their companies." So this was a opportunity that was so unique in a sense, and I had to call Dominic right away because I didn't understand that I could even do something like this. I didn't know if it was possible. I didn't know how to go about doing this, even how to price something like this. And Dominic, was able to pick up that phone and talk to me for like an entire hour and give me insight on how to approach this. Right now, I'm still working with the university, and it's been great. I've been working with like 15 different students and student businesses. It actually gave me a lot of consulting experience that was transferable to my sales meetings with clients, understanding issues in businesses, as well as leveraging my experience from working with students to feel more comfortable in in-person meetings with clients.
Awesome. Yeah, that is the craziest story I think I've heard from an affiliate so far, is the whole university aspect. As I think I've seen the idea so many times of people going, "I'm going to go to the professors, I'm going to go to the school. I know people should be teaching this in school. I'm a finance major and I minored in business. No one knows more about not learning in school than me." And I just feel like I really wish I would have had something to do. I was always trying to make money when I was in college, always. Like literally my goal in college was to drop out of college. That was my goal. And I could not figure it out. I didn't find high level until 2 or 3 years after I graduated from college. So this is something that I feel like you're living my kind of dream here, where I could have taught other students at the same time as almost getting rid of this whole college experience that I just never really felt I was progressing in.
Yeah, well, when I actually transitioned from that summer back into college, it was a difficult transition for me because I went from living at home with a car, with kind of this schedule that was based around my family time as well as my work time, to going back to the fraternity and fulfilling my commitments within all the leadership positions that I had at the university. I actually founded the University of Cincinnati Cryptocurrency Club that I was the active president of. I was holding a leadership position in my social fraternity, as well as I was involved on campus regularly. So I was trying to live the college life as well as run the agency. And very quickly, it kind of didn't work out. And I had to reassess my environment and where all my time was going, because I knew that at this point, with what I had put myself through in that summer, that I had developed a mindset where I was unstoppable. And I knew that I could do whatever I put my mind to. And then I needed to start putting my mind towards this business because it was definitely going somewhere. And I took the SaaS model, actually ended up getting an opportunity to do social media marketing as well. And from there, I was able to kind of perfect this mix of a software as a service and a social media marketing agency that we can go into later. And this was when really things took a next level for me, even in terms of revenue. As you may know, that social media marketing services can get pretty expensive compared to software as a service services. And when you mix the two, it makes for a more valuable offer as well, and more opportunities as well as additional streams of revenue for your business. So I was all assessing this during my transition back to school. I was a little worried about, my growth in the business, but I had the right people around me. I had the right mentors and the right resources. I was able to continue to make this happen. And here we are today with over 15 clients and doing social media marketing, lead generation, as well as SaaS, and now even branching out to that affiliate model. So one thing that really helped me continue to grow my business and establish credibility as a student and a young entrepreneur here in Cincinnati that was approaching other businesses was when the University of Cincinnati actually approached me and said, we are going to publicly recognize the great things that you're doing with students as well as your business. We would like to write an article about you in the University of Cincinnati News. And this was something for me that I had never thought was going to be possible. My first thought was, what are my friends going to think about this? What are my parents going to think about this? And what is the online community in SaaS going to think about something like this? Because of what I have done is so unique in a way. I was honored to be able to share my story with the marketing team at University of Cincinnati so they could help share my story as well. So they ended up actually writing an article about me and talk about all the great things that I was doing, as well as how I started my company, how I built the SaaS model, what their first opinions of me when I approached them with my business opportunity for them, what they thought about it, as well as helped explain my journey and how they helped me establish a presence at the university with my business, helping other students. So there is a great piece in here about myself and some of my tips for other business owners. And one thing that I always like to say is that, these business owners are just regular, everyday individuals like yourself and I always thought that these were scary people that I couldn't talk to. And in a short amount of time, after meeting with enough people and stepping out of my comfort zone enough, I realized that, these people actually just either want someone to talk to, somebody to work with, want a young, motivated individual to help them out with their business, as well as someone to replace that time aspect with what it would cost them with the opportunity cost for setting up systems like this for themselves. This was a great opportunity for me to be able to get recognized publicly by the university, establish credibility in the community. I actually leveraged this in a sense of marketing for later on when I was running advertisements for my business, as I thought this was the greatest thing in the world. And, in a sense it is, because not a lot of people actually get to be in their university news.
I wanted to bring up one thing that you said earlier when you're talking about how intimidating it was to probably talk to a lot of these people, whether they're professors or owners of businesses, because that's something that I've tried to tell other people about with my journey. It was extremely intimidating talking to millionaires or these guys that own so many restaurants, or they own this or they own that real estate, whatever it was. That was the hardest thing for me, and probably the hardest thing for so many of you watching, are going into businesses and trying to talk to these people that you think are so much higher than you in every way, shape, and form. I'm here to tell you they're not. Most of them, if you're even close to me and Preston's age, they're blown away that you're doing this. They look at that and they're just like, what was I doing at 21, 24, 25? Like, I wasn't doing this at all. You're already so far ahead ahead of them in terms of what you're doing. And if you're older than that, it doesn't matter either, because you're trying to start a business and they know what that's like. And they obviously have been there, they've done that, and they should have some type of sympathy, unless they're just bad people. So that's one thing that I noticed very early on, was like, these are just regular people just like me. And then when I started to gain crazy traction, and now, yes, I'm at over $100,000 a month, I make more money than most of my clients that I had. And it goes to show you, makes me laugh sometimes, because I'm like, I judge these guys and I judge these people on thinking they were so intimidating and mean and ruthless because they had more money than me. And now I make all this money and I'm still the same person. And if Preston came to me and was like, hey, I want to do this or that, I would feel weird if he was intimidated by that. Like, I would just be like, why is he intimidated to talk to me? Like, I'm just a kid on YouTube. But at the end of the day, we're all just people, and that's how it is. And some of us get either luckier than others or work harder than others and get to this point in business. It doesn't mean anything. It means nothing at all. And if you talk to a business owner that is up there, someone else is way higher than him and will put them in their place immediately. That's another thing that I've learned. So don't be intimidated by these people at all. They're going to help you. And if they're not going to help you, then they're not good clients of yours.
100%. I definitely agree with you. For me, it was just definitely stepping out of my comfort zone, picking up that first phone call in order to do a cold call, as well as, dress up for my first meeting. I didn't know what to dress, how to act, what to prepare myself with. And so, even where to meet. I also didn't know if I was supposed to buy the coffee, if I was supposed to buy the lunch. I didn't even know if I had money to do so. It was kind of this weird position, but I put on some khaki pants, I put on a polo shirt, and I drove to the nearest Panera and met up with these local business owners, and shortly found out exactly what you just said, that these people are just regular individuals like you and I, and that just the fact alone that you are motivated about helping them and are probably one of the only people who have actually gone out of their way to do research about their business and then approach them with ideas that will actually benefit and provide immense value to their business. That alone just shows you what you can do for just going that extra step and meeting business owners in person, as I do think that is the best way to approach a business model like this.
Absolutely, 100%. Now, I believe you're going to go into your presentation. I'm super excited about this. So let's check it out.
Yeah, so what I want to present here is kind of my revenue growth over the past 3 months. So as you guys know, I've been doing this for 6 months, and I had immense growth within my SaaS business model throughout the past 6 months. So I started out on my free trial, and I actually took a risk, as I told you before, with finally upgrading to the paid version of Go High Level. And when I did so, it was a great opportunity for me to finally hold myself accountable for starting this business. I acted as if that timer, or that 30-day till that next payment, was a ticking time bomb, and that I had to go out and find these businesses and somehow cover my costs of that subscription, because I really wasn't making any additional money outside of my internship, which was paying bills and going towards savings. I had a period where I went from making $0 to finally paying off my subscription. And then from there, knew at that point I could take it as far as I wanted to. And throughout that summer, I went from zero to around $3,000. And then finishing that summer up, I had around $4,000 in reoccurring revenue. I went back to school right around when I was building that social media marketing agency model and lead generation model to the SaaS model I was already doing. And this allowed for a more valuable offer that ended up getting me into that $6,000 to $7,000 a month period. And to one point where I even made $10,000 in October in revenue. I wanted to show you this because it is possible. I remember selling websites for $97. I remember doing websites for absolutely free, just to get the opportunity to do business with somebody and pick up another client. And now I'm at the point where I will turn businesses away if they are not worth my time, or if they are not worth the money at all. And so I never, ever would have thought that $1,500 payments would even be possible with a business model like this, or even be possible for someone like myself to make without a corporate job. On the left, you can see one of my clients actually was getting billed for 3 separate marketing services under one business owner at one time. He had 3 different companies that I was doing marketing services for $1,500 a month. I worked with this business owner for around 6 months, still work with this business owner just under one company. But as you can see there, this is immense growth that actually attributed to this, very high monthly reoccurring revenue that I do bring in. It got to a point where I was making a lot of money. I really didn't know what to do with it. So I actually reinvested back into my business as much as I could. I bought a monitor. I've actually bought 3 monitors. I ended up buying a PC that my roommate helped me build. I bought a printer. I bought 2 desks. I bought pretty much everything you could for a SaaS agency. It gets to the point where you spend about $3,000. There's really nothing to buy anymore. And now I'm at the point where, okay, I've realized that this is a good stable amount of income and that I shouldn't really be spending my money on anything else except for saving and possibly investing some of it. Now I'm at a position where I am financially stable enough to not pursue a full-time career in finance as I was always doing before. And now I'm able to not do internships during the summer, but fully dedicate and focus myself to growing my agency and building out the SaaS model. So not until recently did I actually just give Dom a phone call around a month ago, and I pretty much ran him through everything that was going on with me. I was always someone who kept Dom in the loop about my growth. Even got to the point where I was, reaching out to Dominic and asking him, what is next for me? Is there anything that I can do to kind of involve myself in the community more, as well as take an approach similar to how Dom did and teach others my age of how to do exactly what I did? And I realized that I touched an audience that I never thought I could touch before, which was people in college who are in business and don't know what they're doing in business. They might be a finance major or a marketing major, but they have no idea what they're going to do with that. And that was someone who I was always that person. And I am around people, being in a fraternity, I'm around so many different business majors, and you ask them what they want to do, and none of them have an answer to that question. I didn't have an answer to that question until I had seen Dominic's content come across my feed. So when I started talking to Dominic again and told him the unique position I had taken on this business model and my recent success with it, he told me that I should start sharing my story with others online. So I went ahead and, listened to Dominic, and 1 week later, I posted a video of some really unique cool things I was doing with the new AI chat GPT integration and how I was leveraging it within my business in order to streamline business processes, as well as provide additional value to my clients with less time and work going into it. And as you can see here, it kind of blew up. I wasn't really ready for this. I didn't know what to do. I understood that, the content I was making was extremely valuable. At first, I didn't understand it because the people around me didn't realize it. And it took me to the point where I actually had to post it online in order to understand the value I provided to, people online like myself. So I started posting content, and I couldn't have asked for anything more than the recent traction that has gone to my page. I hit over 5,000 followers within the last week, and none of this would have been possible without Dom's guidance of telling me that this is something I should pursue. And now it is something that I'm pursuing.
That's awesome, man. I have a bittersweet taste for TikTok. Obviously, you guys know my story with TikTok, but it's just absolutely insane when people hop on that platform. And I mean, you're looking at it right now, 123,000 views on that top video, 5,000 followers. You got the link in the bio because you can get that after 1,000 followers. It's insane. I mean, what 70,000 views can do for a business is ridiculous. What that would cost in ads, he did for free. He did with organic traffic. And this is going to change absolutely everything. I'm going to make a lot more videos with Preston. We're going to talk about TikTok a lot more. We're going to talk about YouTube Shorts coming out in February. They're changing a bunch of stuff with YouTube Shorts in February. That is going to be massive. You're going to see a lot more content from probably both of us in terms of YouTube Shorts and where this entire industry is headed. And then Chat GPT. I mean, oh my God, that's going to be a whole different genre in terms of what it's going to do to SaaS, SMMA, and business in general, honestly.
Yeah, what's really cool is I always thought posting online would 100% just bring in a additional stream of revenue, that possibility of bringing in affiliates. But one thing that's been super interesting is just from posting online without even the intention of going towards an affiliate model, but more of just share what I do online with people, I've had more business inquiries than I've had even alone in the past 3 months. I'll tell you, I was expecting people to call me and say, hey, how do I do what you do? And instead, I was getting a call from, roofing companies and, these cool companies saying, hey, how can I get you to work with me? And now it was at the point where I used to reach out to businesses, and now businesses are reaching out to me, which I never had thought would have been possible. And it wouldn't have been possible unless I was sharing the cool and unique things that I was doing online with everyone else.
Welcome to social media, my man. It is the greatest thing that ever existed, if you use it right.
Yeah, I just kind of wanted to go into some things that I'd wish I had known before starting. I think these are always good key points to touch on, as I do think that Dom did a great job when I was in his course of making sure I didn't worry about the business name, the business logo, the very important things that he had went through, that he had to experience, that took a lot of time, that didn't need to take a lot of time. And he was actually able to save me a lot of time, and everyone's story is different. Everyone experiences different things. So I thought that I would put together some things for you guys that kind of would be something I would tell myself 6 months ago when I first started. The first thing I would say is business owners are just regular people like you and I. We kind of covered this to an extent, and just know that, these are the type of people that are literally you. They experience the same stressors that you do as a SaaS agency owner. They forget to show up to meetings. They forget to respond to emails. They forget to do basic things like check their inbox and even check the CRM. So it took me a little while to understand that business owners are regular people just like you and I, and even when it comes to those stressors that us agency owners experience every day. Next thing I wanted to go into was that being uncomfortable will develop an unstoppable mindset for yourself. This is something that I never understood at first. I know with all the recent red pill and masculinity content going around, that it's been something a lot of people have been kind of dying to get, is this unstoppable mindset. And before any of these influencers came into my feed, I didn't know it yet, but I was developing an unstoppable mindset. The only reason I was developing this kind of mindset was because I was putting myself in uncomfortable situations. I did grow up with, generalized social anxiety, and I was not always that type of person that would go out of my way to socialize with people, whether it was business owners, whether it was peers, or whether it was friends. And I knew that in order to pursue this business model that Dom had made it sound so easy to pursue, that there were going to be things that were not so easy that I had to overcome. One being going to meetings with 50-year-old men talking about business. That goes into my point of mentors being extremely important. And not necessarily am I talking about online mentors or online courses or mentorship programs online. I'm talking about the opportunities that will present themselves from you putting yourself in uncomfortable positions to where you're meeting older people that have so much experience that they can share with you. I would never have imagined that I'd be spending my time with a 38-year-old business owner and his wife talking about businesses and getting advice on my business and going over ideas of new businesses we were going to start. And I found out very shortly that mentors are extremely important. My mentor taught me about paying taxes, registering my business properly, getting insurance, all these things that you would have never thought with an online business model at first you would ever need. But because I was surrounding myself with older individuals with a lot of experience in the business space, it opened my mind to some very beneficial relationships that would actually improve my standing as a young entrepreneur here in this space. Another point I wanted to touch on was, if you are young, you need to leverage your youth with this business model. A lot of people think that being young is bad for a business like this, and that people won't take you seriously for a business like this. I'm 20 and I look 16. I have people telling me all the time that I look 16. I can't even grow a beard. And I've actually taken it the other way and leveraged the fact that I'm young in order to successfully run this business. I leverage the fact that I'm a business student in my cold calls and my marketing strategies, that I am a motivated business student interested in learning about you, a business owner who has so much value and experience that you can provide to me. I might as well, during that meeting, end up providing a little bit of value to you as well with my business that I'm starting. So I have been able to leverage my youth, because I do believe in this age of social media that us, Gen Z and 25, I guess you could say, and younger, we already grow up in a era and an environment to where you are already marketing your personal life online, thinking about what the best photo of yourself is to post, or what's the best caption for your Instagram post. You grow up in an era where you are already used to marketing. You're marketing yourself. Imagine you leverage those same skills that you've developed from just growing up in this era and transfer it to do it for a business. It's literally the exact same thing. You're just not marketing yourself, at this point, you are marketing a business. So I always like to tell people that if you are young, do not let other people tell you that it's going to be bad for a business model like this, because it's probably one of the best things for starting your business when you are young, because I honestly think I'm at an advantage compared to those that are 28 or 30 years old starting this business model. They don't have the credibility of being a student pursuing a finance degree and starting a business while they're young and being motivated and doing all these great things at such a young age. So I 100% think if you are young, this is one of the best business models that you can start as well.
That's awesome. And I'd like to weigh in on that because I probably see it about 5 times a day now. I mean, you've got all these Andrew Tate videos and all these big videos that are blowing up. So many like 14 to 17-year-olds have been hitting me up like crazy and saying like, hey, I've got to start my own business, but can I do this? Am I old enough to do this? I do think that if you're under 18, you are going to have to go through some hoops, getting a Stripe account, a business registered, and all these other things. But I don't think it's impossible. And I think that their biggest fear isn't that they can't get it going and get it started. Their biggest fear is that they're going to walk in and business owner is going to laugh and be like, my son's older than you. Like, why would I let you run any part of my business? Which is not true. Now, yes, sometimes they'll look at you like a little bit different, but at the end of the day, any business owner at all, if they have any business sense, they will look at that and go, wow, I wish I was doing this at that age. That's absolutely insane. The hustle is ridiculous. I mean, I've heard stories and seen videos of like Mark Cuban talking about going door to door when he was like 6 years old. I mean, this is literally crazy. I mean, it's like a myth. It's a story that they're going to tell other people. Yo, this 14-year-old just came in and wants to run my marketing. I mean, how insane! He built my website. Like, how insane is that? So I think there's so much more to look at when you're actually younger. I think it's better, in my opinion.
100%. And one thing that I wanted to touch on is that this business, no matter your age, whether you are young or whether you are older person, if you get to the point where you are scaling it at the rate I was scaling it, do not think that it won't get stressful. Yes, it is a great business model, and it's probably one of the less stressful business models because of that monthly subscription and passive income that it allows for after you set these systems up and step away and remove yourself and let them run themselves. But when you get to a point where you're managing a lot of accounts at once and you are communicating and maintaining relationships with a lot of clients at once, it can get stressful. And I never thought it could, but I learned very quickly that it was all going to be about how I pivoted, what I recognized was causing the most stress, and allow me to understand, is this something that could be automated? Is it the onboarding process? Is it the relationship process? What is the most stressful? And how can I recognize this, step away from it, and then either automate it or make it so it's less stressful? And from here, I was able to automate onboarding processes, automate the relationship with my clients to book meetings with them as necessary, automate different systems to pretty much streamline everything in my business to make it as least stressful as possible. But this didn't happen until I experienced those stressors at first and was able to recognize them. So yes, this is a fantastic business model that will cause a low amount of stress. At the end of the day, if you just grind this business like I did and get to a point where, you necessarily aren't sleeping much, you aren't, working out anymore, it's eventually going to take a toll on you. And lucky enough, I was able to realize that early on and say that my business cannot be successful unless I mentally and physically am successful as well. And when you combine the two, there is no saying what you can do with this business model.
I'm really excited for people to see this. I think it's going to open up so many doors for a lot of the younger people and a lot of the people who are just starting, because I love seeing success stories like this and letting them know that it is stressful. There's a lot of things that go in. I mean, the amount of times I've had to look at people in the face and been like, dude, it's a business model. This is a business. You have to treat it like a business. No business in the world was ever just set up and perfect and ran great and made them rich. I mean, it just doesn't work like that. So I think the more you treat it like a real business, like Preston has done, the more results you're going to see and the better opportunities that are going to show themselves in the future.
And one of the most stressful things that I would say, lucky enough, my mentor was able to talk with me about this early on to where it wasn't too big of an issue. But the fact that if you do bring on SMMA clients and you do go into that more valuable offer to where you are actually getting paid a very large amount for some of the services you are doing, contracts are necessary. With this business model, we do, with the 97 and 297 a month, stay away from that contract word, because you're at that point where it is a low enough amount to where you do not have to commit to a contract because it's a monthly subscription. That's the last thing you want, is Netflix telling you you have to sign a contract for something. But I didn't realize this until I started, providing those more valuable offers that were in the $1,500 a month, where now it wasn't as passive as I thought. I'm bringing on additional overhead. I'm hiring virtual staff or I am outsourcing work. And it gets to a point where now you are actually spending money to make money. And you need to be able to guarantee yourself in the future if you are bringing all of this additional overhead on in your business, and contracts are going to be necessary in that case, because if you do not, you will be taken advantage of. Your youth, instead of leveraging your youth, they will leverage your youth against you because you are not using contracts, and it will not end well. So you're going to want to make sure, if you do explore into that more valuable offer, you are talking to a mentor or you are watching videos online of how to properly assess an opportunity like that in order to guarantee a future for yourself, as well as a stronger relationship with your clients. Because at the end of the day, contracts are just a language in the business world. It took me a while to learn this. I thought they were scary. I thought it just meant commitment, but contracts are only looked at when something bad in the relationship has happened. No one goes back and looks at a contract when the business relationship is doing amazing. People only go back and look at the contracts when there's some type of argument or disruption in the business relationship or the services provided.
Very true. That is a question I get asked all the time. Do I need contracts for SaaS or SMMA? And I have always said the same thing. If you're charging anywhere from 97 to 297 or something very small, a contract is not needed. But of course, with SMMA, you want to get paid. You want to know that you're getting paid. You've got a lot of moving parts when you're charging $1,500 a month. So 100% agree. Thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah, and another point I wanted to touch on was that the hard work was eventually going to pay off. At the very beginning, I didn't know what it was going to do. It started out as a side hustle. I always called it a side hustle. I actually didn't start calling it a business until 2 months in, when I was making enough money to actually treat it like a business. But the words that always stuck with me that Dom said is that if you want this to be a business, you have to treat it like a business. And when you treat it like a business enough every single day, and you just give your full effort to this and do 1% better every day, you don't have to sit on your computer for 4 hours a day. All you have to do is map out the exact action steps that you're going to take in order to achieve the goals you want to achieve. And from there, work to accomplish that goal every single day, even if it means doing 1% better each day. And eventually, in 6 months, you'll look back and say, wow, look at all the great things I did. Look at all the clients I have, and look at all the revenue I'm bringing in. So eventually, the hard work will pay off. And if you do just do a little bit every day, then you are going to see it pay out in the future. And then one more thing, actually two more things I want to touch on, was that your environment is going to be everything. You need to make sure that you are surrounded, if you're going to take it seriously, you need to be around other people that are taking their life seriously or taking their ventures they're starting seriously. You cannot be around people that are just going to tie you down, that are going to tell you, oh, I don't know if this is going to work for you, or, oh, I don't know about this business model, or I don't know about what you're doing. You should probably stick with your job and such. But you want to make sure that your environment is healthy and it is something that is motivating. For me, being in college at the business school, it was a very motivating environment. I was around people that were motivating me to do better every day, but sometimes I was around people that just brought me down. And when you first start a business, you'll find that people will make fun of you. They won't understand you. They will, oh, he's starting a software company. When you have no clients, yeah, they'll make fun of you. They'll say, how is he starting a software company? You know nothing about software. The computer science guys, your computer science friends or peers, they'll say, I don't believe it. What do you mean he's starting a software company? And then in 6 months, when you have 15 plus clients, they're going to look at you and say, how the hell did he start a software company and make all this money? And he's a business major. What is he doing? What am I doing wrong? Why am I not getting paid as much as him? And I make the software. And people are going to make fun of you, and you need to make sure that you stick with exactly what you want to do in this business model, and eventually it'll pay off, and your environment is going to be everything for you. I also want to say that this is a business model I have always done by myself. I have tried to bring on people for sales efforts, and whenever I involve other people, whether it's friends or whether it's peers at my school, into this business model, it does get a little bit messy. So I would advise you guys, if you do bring on some type of team or partnership in your business, make sure it's either with the right person or it is with virtual staff that you are paying 1099 or paying by the hour to work for you. Because very soon, whoever you bring on into this business model and teach how to sell this business model, they will go out and they will sell it for you, and they will quickly find out how easy it is to sell Go High Level software.
Yeah.
I'll tell you right now, I've worked with 3 other people that have all worked with me for around 1 to 2 months, and they have taken the first month to learn the software. I have given them Dom's course on how to sell the software, and then they go out, they do it, and it's the easiest thing in the world. And quickly enough, they don't think that 30 or 40% commission is enough, and they will turn around and either try and snake you or try and start their own software company, which sometimes works out, sometimes doesn't. But I just want to make sure that you guys know that this can be done alone. It's probably best to be done alone to an extent. And there's really no need to bring on a partnership or, share equity in a company like this. At the end of the day, it is an online business model, and it's not this huge thing that needs, equal support from all these other people in the infrastructure. And it's simply just a business that you can outsource work to if needed, but does not necessarily mean you need to ever bring someone into your business that is a peer of yours, someone at your school, or even a friend of yours, because it will just end up messy.
Very, very good points. This happens all the time. I see it all the time. People want to do business partnerships or this or that. I will counter what you said. I do think that there are ways to make business relationships work. I have had many, and I know you have some now. I know what you were saying though. I actually went through the same thing when I first started. Was my boss wanted 25% of the business because he knew what it could potentially be. And now with me doing over 100K a month, I would owe someone $25,000 a month, over $25,000 a month, who I didn't need clearly at all. So I'm very, very happy that I did what I did. I think about that all the time. Like, what if I would have done that? Like, and who knows, maybe partnering with that person, I could be at 200K a month of this. But at the end of the day, it's, if you want to scale to crazy numbers, it's up to you. It's not up to them. And if it is up to them, they'll cut you out of the deal like that. It always depends on who thinks they're doing the most work. And that's the biggest problem with partnerships. I had a lawyer once tell me partnerships are like marriages. They're not meant to last. And I know that may not be the best quote ever, but he's a lawyer, so he does it for a living. And it's kind of true in that scenario where it's like there is almost, in the terms of like with a marriage, it's so hard for everything to go perfect. With a partnership, no matter what, egos are going to clash. People are going to think that they're doing more than the other person, or the other, or vice versa. But either way, I think you guys will make the right decisions, and networking partnerships are something that I'm actually learning right now. So I can't wait to make videos on it in the future. I think there are really, really good ways to position partnerships. And we'll talk about that in another video.
All right, yeah, so that was all for my presentation. Thank you so much, Dom, for having me on your channel. It means a lot to me, from someone who just 6 months ago was turning post notifications on for every single one of your videos and watching them all 3 times back, as well as watching your course 4 times back. So it's an honor to, show you my progress and share with everyone else that was in my situation not long ago or is in my situation right now. Truly my story, and how much of an impact this community and what Dom has helped me with has impacted myself and so many others in such a short amount of time. So thank you for the wonderful opportunity to get to speak in front of your channel.
Well, that was an amazing presentation, Preston. Absolutely insane to have you on here and to see one of my affiliates do so well. I cannot wait to start doing this with more affiliates and see what we can do in the future together, which is teasing something that is definitely going to happen. Me and Preston are kind of doing a partnership deal where we are going to be making content together and doing a lot more stuff together, especially with this Chat GPT stuff coming out. Obviously, I don't know too much about it. I don't think the world knows too much about it, but this kid's absolutely crushing with it. And obviously, we couldn't go super in depth with all the things that he's doing for his clients, because he's working on something way more in depth in a kind of a course manner. And I'm very, very excited to see what he does with it. And obviously we're going to see what we can do with it together, because I think both of our minds together can do something absolutely massive with Go High Level and the affiliate program. So yeah, I cannot wait for you guys to all see what we do in the future, and stay tuned. Trust me, please, please, please stay tuned. This kid's going to be huge. What's up, guys? Thank you so much for watching that interview. That meant a lot to me, and it obviously meant a lot to Preston to be on the channel. It has been a long time coming for me to actually interview one of my affiliates. I hear it all the time. How are your other affiliates doing? How is everyone doing in the course? How are other people doing? And for me to take a full hour-long interview and summarize it up in one video with Preston and really dive deep into someone who was just like all of you, who is just like all of you, started as a broke college student trying to juggle a job, school, and a business, and still
made it work. He is the epitome of what we want this business model to look like, what we want to represent as affiliates, and I am extremely proud of the work that he has done. And for that reason, if you want to learn more about Preston's journey, you want to learn more from him, or you just want to network with him, then please join his group. I will be leaving the link to his group in the description below. And then of course, if you stuck with me to the very end and you want to be an affiliate just like Preston, you know what to do. Use my affiliate link. It'll be in the description below as well. You will get 30 free days on High Level. You will also get to learn from me personally. You will get in touch with me. You can text me, message me, whatever you want to do. I promise I will respond. I don't have any assistance. It is always going to be me. I would also like to point out that I will be doing a lot with Preston in the future. So I will also be linking his YouTube channel, which he has not uploaded any videos yet. He has not fully started, but still show him some support. Make sure to subscribe to his channel. I really want our business relationship to be more of a content creating relationship where he makes videos that I don't make and I make videos that he doesn't make, but we work together on that. We're also going to have so many different snapshots and tools and things with Zapier, ChatGPT. I mean, there are so many cool things. Slack. This kid has so many ideas, so many creative ideas. I cannot wait to get them on paper, get them out there to you guys. And I just truly think 2023 is about to be absolutely insane. So once again, thank you guys for watching. And I'm actually going to finish this off with a nice little blooper scene that Preston does not know I'm putting in this video. So I hope you guys enjoy it as much as I did, and roll it.
Before I had started this business, I wasn't talking with older, sorry, this just sounds super weird. Older men. I'll try to word it in a good way.
More. Yeah, is it before I started this business, you could say like I was hanging around college kids. I wasn't talking to 50-year-old businessmen, something like that.
Yeah, well, before I started this business, I was just talking to college kids. I was just talking to my peers. I wasn't talking to 50-year-old business owners, which was crazy because now I was involving myself in relationships. No, not relationships. That's so bad. All right. Okay, so I'll just stop that point.